I get a lot of credit for that book, and I think it's a lot of undeserved credit because all I tried to do was execute. I tried to do two things: execute Ray's vision, because it was his concept. He came up with the concept, and he convinced Nike that they needed to do this book, that this was important. But also try to match what he was doing creatively from a visualization standpoint of this book. And that's what you don't know is that for a whole year doing this book, it was an internal competition between what I wrote and what Ray was doing visually. Look, man, let me tell you, this dude would come to the table with photo shoots he did of some of these shoes and where his mind was at and telling the stories of these shoes through imagery that was blowing my mind. And I'm like, there's no way I can write anything that can match the ideas and concepts. If that book had no words in it at all, it would still be one of the greatest books ever done. I ended on this. When it came down to the Air Force One, and we knew the Air Force One was the most important shoe in this book, without question. He told me ahead of time, good fucking luck. He told me, we were in San Francisco, at, working on the book, working on layout of the book, and he knew what he was coming to the table with. And he told me, good fucking luck with this one. He knew what he was coming with. He knew, and the fact that he came, I never thought he'd outdo. If you look at that book, the opening shot of that book is a blazer sitting on a white mink pillow. Like, come on, man. Like, how do you even mess with that?
Yeah.
The suede up against that fur, that texture. It's like, how do you mess with that, man? So when it came time to do the Air Force One, he did the exact opposite. And he knew what he was doing. That's the thing, this dude's a genius. If you look at that, go back to Air Force One, he literally put a cleanest Air Force One you ever see. It wasn't white either. So he kept it the baby blue, because the baby blue was the color of the Tar Heels, University of North Carolina. Yeah. And the shoe was still built around Rasheed Wallace because he was still the face of that shoe.
Right, yeah.
And you rub that shoe, the heel of that shoe, into some dirt. Because Rasheed was gully. And this shoe, and the Air Force One is a hood shoe. You know what I'm saying? He gave that pristine some dirt. And he knew everybody wasn't going to get that at first. And that's the only shoe in that book that has dirt on it. But he knows the history of that shoe. And he knew what he was doing when he was telling me, good luck. Because he knew, he said, you got to write the hell out this Air Force One, because what I'm doing is on some other shit.